on my social media accounts because I'm about to retire in about 2 months. My YouTube page is all I'm using right now, and I just want to update you on anything I can while I'm out here. I'm trying to really get my sanity back. I'm planning what I'm going to be doing. I'm writing a book about my memoirs and about my life. I'm planning to do some traveling, watch a lot of TikTok videos, reels, everything I've missed just because I'm giving people who don't appreciate me news. So let me just talk a little bit about all the mansions that you're seeing being demolished in Lagos. I'm going to start with a very sad story, and it has to do with my uncle. And this happened like very early in the 90s. It could be 91 or 92. Could even be late 80s, 89, around that time. My uncle built a brand new mansion. The day he was supposed to move into the mansion, Lagos State government, I don't remember who the governor was at that time, they came and they demolished the mansion. Something is always wrong with the land. Whose land is it? When you're buying a house or you're building one in Lagos, you must have a good surveyor. Make sure they've done a good survey on the land. Who's the landowner? Who sold the land? Who did the landowner buy the land from? As an investigative journalist, it's my job to inform you of some of the things the mainstream media will not tell you because many of them are owned by politicians and big businessmen. What is happening is very easy. Governor Sanwo-Olu came up with an excuse that a lot of people were building houses on the island on drainage channels. This is the reason why Lekki is a mess. Everywhere you go in Lekki, there's a gutter, and the gutter is not running. It's just green, dirty, and there's no drainage. Everybody trashes those gutters, make them even more dirty. Sometimes when I'm walking on the streets on Admiralty Way, I'm just scared that I might fall into those things when I look at it. If people are actually building their houses on drainage channels, that's really bad. They started demolishing all those houses on the island. Who sold those houses to you? Where are your real estate people? This is one of the reasons I don't take real estate ads. Anything that has to do with building or buying land, many of them are scammers, almost all of them. You see the one that Tony Abraham was doing adverts for, Revolution something, property or something. There's so many of them. And when mansions start to be demolished, these real estate agents will simply turn off their phone, none of their business. Be careful. Let me tell you what's going on in Abule Edo. Abule Edo is not an Igbo Yoruba issue. So take the tribalism out, all right? Take the sentiments out and take the ignorance out and learn something, okay? On the 14th of March, 2020, I was living in a hotel in Ikeja, Apartment Royale. And I stayed in that hotel for 8 months before my apartment was ready in Aja. Because I was moving to a brand new building in Aja that a landlord was building. And that would be like my last week in Ikeja. Most of you know that I moved to Lagos in June of 2019. That would be my last week in Ikeja. I was moving to Aja on the 23rd of March, 2020. Well, on the 14th, very early in the morning, there was a huge explosion. We heard it from Ikeja, the boom, and we felt it. It was like a sonic boom. It was a huge explosion. What just happened, we didn't know. A few minutes to an hour later, thank God for Twitter, which is in real time, we heard that there was a gas pipeline explosion in Abule Edo, and several mansions were blown up. Many people died, Some people were already on their way to church. Some people were in church and they heard that their mansions were gone. I mean, houses were blown to smithereens. If you really want to see the pictures, I want you to Google 14th of March 2020, Abule Ado. Abuleado. It's an area near Festac. Several huge mansions were damaged, destroyed because of gas pipelines. I, as an investigative journalist, I have reasons to be suspicious of anything. When Oladips was announced as dead and they said the family wants privacy, I didn't want to give them privacy. I started looking at the video and I did a live video saying this boy could have been poisoned. The way he was gasping in that video. I wanted to dig into the lies, and that's where they told me the family needs privacy. And somebody in his team said he took his own life. That's why I dug in further to find out what could have killed him. And they didn't like that, of course. Maybe that's what made them say it's just a lie. But as an investigative journalist, I have to keep records because journalism is a rough draft of history. Many of you don't know this story. Many of you may remember, but I'm letting you know now. The gas pipeline explosion, Abuleado, blew up a lot of mansions, not just houses, big, huge mansions. And I have the reason to believe that those two Aboki boys actually committed an act of terrorism. During that case, there was a gas depot in that area. And you know, gas depots, they sell you gas, natural gas, in cylinders for cooking, for everything you need. And gas pipelines will be under the ground to also supply the depot. And that part of the mainland, there are also gas pipelines coming all the way from even Warri and all that. Okay, gas is moved via pipelines underground in Lagos. At the end of the day, that gas depot, those two Aboki boys, one was next to that huge depot cylinder early in the morning when they have not even opened, and the other one was on the side of the street filming him. Is that not the style they used when they blew up this day in Abuja in the 90s? Was in the 90s or 2010 or 2011, the terrorist attack that they blew up the this day office in Abuja. Was that not the same tactic? The terrorists were on the other side of the road filming it, and the guy was inside the truck with the bomb, and as he was driving and stopped in front of the newspaper office, they detonated the bomb and filmed the whole thing from across the street. So for me, the Abule Edo explosion on 14th of March 2020, you guys can Google that. I still believe those two Aboki boys, they were in northern Nigeria, they were terrorists, and I still believe they set off that explosion. If we look at it in that direction, most of the mansions were owned by Igbos, rich Igbos, business people who came from eastern Nigeria to southwest. But there was nothing particularly outstanding, so the police didn't really classify it as a terrorist attack. Like I said, some people died, and honestly, we were lucky that the death toll could have been higher. However, many people had left home for church. In the very same neighborhood where Abule Ado explosion happened 3 years ago, they're demolishing mansions, and you guys are making it tribal. There's nothing tribal about it. Okay, some of you are making it politically motivated. It's not political. It's not tribal. If it has any kind of touch of political, then it has to do with the oil and gas under the ground. A bunch of pipelines go past those areas. Now, why would people build on top of pipelines? Some of the mansions demolished today were built after 2020. You know that area has pipelines on the ground. You still go and build mansions there. The C&O, the surveys, everything is in question. Nigerians don't think. Some of the people that own mansions there, they even turned it into apartments where people are renting. But it was a waste because everyone was given 2 hours to move their stuff out. There are gas pipelines in Abule Ado. No one should have built there. That's all I have to say. The next video is coming in 2 minutes, and it's going to be about Oriyomi Hamzat entering the Mobad case. Stay tuned.